Hi everyone, I'm Tandy Gutierrez and welcome to your January 1st full moon reading. So this month we have 2 full moons, which means the second is a blue moon and is very exciting. So you guys are getting a bonus video this month. I'll do it later in the month, so just keep checking back. But this one is for your full moon on January 2nd. It is actually a super moon, so there's all kinds of neat things happening. Supermoon means that it is closer to the Earth, so it does appear like 14% bigger. And so this, full moon around the, it's on the 2nd, depending on where you are in the world. A couple days prior, start looking to see if you can see its fullness and just kind of stand and bask in it. January's a new year. It's a big month energetically. It's exciting. And the other thing too that really happens this week, and I forgot to mention it in the January tarot reading, Mercury went direct December 22nd. But if we're all going to be totally honest and fair about it, it takes 2 weeks to still make it out of that shadow stage. So we're not in the free and clear of discombobulated, awkward messaging, traveling technology until the first week of January. So January 5th, everything, no more excuses. Stuff that went wrong, it's your fault. You still need to be aware of it, but the energy is all systems go, essentially, for Mercury this week. So here we go, your full moon tarot spread. Full moon in Cancer, very loving. Cancer is the mother of the astrology, right? So, and it's, at its worst, it's a martyr and does everything for everybody and thinks nobody cares. But at its best, it's such a nurturer, loving, accepting and forgiving energy. So this month, and this moon in particular, has a lot of forgiveness to offer ourselves and to our relationships in our life. Which is super cool. So I'm using our full moon spread. It's a 7-card spread. I'll show them to you as I go, and things were already flying out, so that's fun. That's always a good sign, right? Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. There's a lot of there's some repetition from your January. Y'all saw how many times I shuffled. I shuffled before I started the camera too. These are pretty. Okay, here we go. So full moons are all about forgiveness and release, right? To let go of what no longer is working. And so the goal is to get to this point in the month and go, in the last 2 weeks, in the last month, what really no longer serves my highest and greatest good? It can be habits, it can be relationships, it can be functional physical things, it can be schedules, whatever's not working, whatever's not sitting right with you, change it up, get rid of it, and forgive. Go, life is ever evolving. I'm not stuck or bound to one decision ever. I changed my mind. I don't want to do that anymore because it doesn't feel right. So the energy of right now, that's why I was like, whoa, and this one flew out. It's the Magician. Yeah, okay, so there are some cards in the deck that you go, oh, I always want to see that in the reading. That's always a good sign in the reading. So this full moon really has to offer you. The Magician is the manifester. It's bringing things into fruition into this physical plane. I'll just show you. It's being able to balance your intellect, your words, your acumen with your spirit, with your courageousness and your bravery, with, karmic cycles and your diligence and your doing. So it's about being fully balanced as a person, mind, body, and spirit, so things can be manifested and brought in. The Magician is not somebody who just wishes for things and they show up. This is the whole deal with a spiritual relationship and a spiritual ritual and a spiritual path and exploration, is that there's always a balance of working with the energies at play, listening to the signs and symbols, following the signs and symbols that are bringing good energy into your life instead of plugging away at the ones that you want to make happen. There's a way to sink a ship, right? So the energy of this full moon is about becoming the Magician, releasing the things that no longer work to make space for the good stuff, right? Because this is, again, one of the key pieces to manifestation and to good stuff. You have to release. There has to be space for something new to come in. You have to let go of something. Often it can just be an energetic let go. Don't hang on to your BS anymore. Don't hang on to those old stories. Don't hang on to the stories and the patterns of experience. Well, it's always been this way before. It's never going to be any different. Those people that say that, it's never going to be any different. You have to be willing for things to be different in order to bring new things around. So in this full moon, it's like you just ditch what you got that's not working. Don't ask too many questions. Follow your instinct and go, it's just not happening. It can be in really simple, small ways. Projects that you put into play. Are people coming flocking to it? Is it easy in the partnerships and the relationships? Or is it just seems stuttered and it's like a whole lot of work? And you go, okay, me as my human self, I just want to see this through, and I know it's not really where the magic is, but I kind of want to finish it. You know, that's an option. Or just go, I changed my mind. I don't want to do that anymore. Because it's not where the juju is. So go someplace else, okay? So it's a really neat card for this full moon for it to be the Magician. It's also a 1, right? Which January is the first month. It's a 1, fresh starts and new beginnings. So this is an opportunity to look at yourself as the magician, a new magician, one that can bring things into fruition that you've never been able to do before. Quit going on the past patterns because those are old stories. Those are old energies. It's an old DNA template. Like now we're headed into like that cellular memory of being burst forth from the stars and out of the, you know, out of magic and out of divinity instead of out of this earthly plane. So what to release in this full moon? This is the big one. Okay, now I'm going to say it and inevitably somebody goes, and they put their intellect brain and their earthly brain on and they don't understand the true meaning of the card. So it's about releasing judgment. And you all go, but I don't judge. I'm not judging myself. I'm past judgment. Okay, judgment is a couple of things. Judgment is not necessarily judgment and shaming and making, you know, that kind of judgment is actually intellectual discernment. You have to be able to make judgments, right? You have to go, okay, I don't really want to die today, so I'm not going to go walk off the side of the bridge, right? That's a judgment call to not go hang your toes over the edge. But judgment in the cards often, you know, calls to balancing, right? Because judgment is Libra, it's the balancing of the scales. It calls to a balance energetically and spiritually. And it often, like this deck is so cool. This is the Fountain Tarot. And it's got this like wispy, ghostly, like, what are those? Are there people under there? Is that fabric? Is it smoke? It's about a joining of spirit. It's about a rising up in spirit, in divine nature and divine energy. It's also about the balancing of these scales energetically, that you've done your work. So you get to rise up, you know, and that divine nature sees that and maybe comes down just a little bit to support you and to level you out. So to me, it's always this cosmic behind the scenes, like hands, like there's a whole wall of people that have got your back energetically. So this is about, you know, it's about releasing that it's too hard and that nobody's rooting for you. You don't see all of the energies that are on your side rooting for you on the other side. So you have to release this pedantic, mundane 3D, like somebody's not standing right here physically, so nobody's on my side. It's so not true. Like, one, I'm on your side. I may not physically be there, but I'm totally on your side. I'm totally rooting for you. And I imagine we're all rooting for each other, the people who are here listening to these readings. And two, you need to kind of either honor that you have guides, guardian angels, your higher self, and those who have passed in your lineage who are really rooting for you on the other side. And I'll just say it, it's actually more powerful to have them on that side. Energy is more powerful than anything. Love is more powerful than anything. And so that transition into ethers is actually more powerful than the physical. So if somebody has passed that's really close to you and really, you know, it's, yes, we need to mourn the loss and we have to go through that, but also honor that may be a way that they can best support you in the world. Because energy can do more magic, can move things behind the scenes. That was for somebody, so let that be in play. Lessons of these 2 weeks. The Chariot. So the Chariot came up in our January reading. The lessons are that when you put the work in, you just never know when it's going to come through. So things will start to come through, but the lesson is you got to do the doing, and you have to stay true to your instinct and your gut and your heart-centered path and your love and your passion, and not get like, oh my God, it didn't come through this year or the last year or the year before. It's just not time yet. So if you love something, if you're clear that it's your calling and your path, if you're diligent about it, things come through to support it. And so it's really about learning that lesson in these 2 weeks. It may be that something shows up as an opportunity, or you just have to surrender to faith and accept that, like, I am doing these things because I love it and because I believe in it. And that's got to mean something. And it may not mean something today, and maybe it didn't mean something for the last 5 years, but your yes is right around the corner. So keep being diligent, because it's going to come through. The Chariot is things coming through and working out. Blessings of this full moon. This was in the January reading also, Knight of Coins. It's about learning how to bring prosperity into fruition. So it's all about the journey, that the true goods are at home, which is you and in spirit and in your relationship with spirit and in your evolution with your spiritual relationship and your spiritual practices. So that's a blessing. Whatever you're doing then in terms of spirit, keep doing it, because it will bring abundance to you. And this month you'll start, in these 2 weeks, something's going to come through. It might be tiny, but something. Because it's saying that the lessons of these weeks are about things coming through, and the blessings is that you're starting to understand how to bring things into fruition and have abundance from doing the things that you love. So there you go. 4 of Swords. This is what your heart wants. I'm sorry to laugh, but sometimes things are divinely ironic. In these 2 weeks, this is what your heart wants. 4 of Swords is rest. Take a nap. Rest. Sleep more. Rest. Meditate. It is the call for meditation. But this is about your heart's desire. So this year is, the Saturn moving into Capricorn. It's striving and doing, and we're all going to feel this call to achieve if you haven't already. And so it's also about in the January reading, the Hierophant showed up, right? It's about taking care of this physical body, okay? So we are physical, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. It requires rest and restoration. I mean, it's everything I teach on madamkitchen.com, because we don't know how to tend to our system in a constantly balanced way, right? There's no perfection in it, but there is an evolution, and there are tactics that you put in play that allow you to achieve, that allow you to keep going, that allow you to do. But it's definitely a call out of you need rest. You're maybe like, whoa, everything's, maybe things are coming too fast and furious, and you just need a pause button. Guess what? You can take a pause. It may only be 2 or 5 minutes, but you can be like, time out. Mama needs to get on the mat. Mama needs to go have a little meditation. I'm going to go light a candle and just sit in silence for 2 minutes. That's it. And then you can move forward, but your heart's desire is to find that balance and really just to have a little respite and reprieve. You need to learn that. That's the feminine energy of resting to bring abundance towards you instead of the doing, which is in conflict with Saturn and Capricorn. So the energy is, is do. The challenge is you have to rest enough to be capable of doing. So if all you do is doing and you don't rest, you burn out, and then this kind of implodes. So there has to be a balance. So in these 2 weeks, take some time out. Please rest, okay? Big steps. Okay, hysterical. You guys, if you haven't watched the January reading, you're gonna have to go back and watch it like now or soon, because in that one, it was telling us to release this card, and this is telling us what our big steps are in order to get to our heart's desire. So that heart's desire being rest of the 4 of Swords is just about balance. The doing with the rest. I, for one, I'm always in that team, right? I want more rest and more space. The big steps, this is hysterical, is 2 of Cups. So Two of Cups is classically like a partnership soulmates card. In the January reading, it came out as, don't think anything like the cosmos are going to do it for you. Like, you have to do the doing. Okay, so now for this full moon, it's telling us big steps towards having balance between rest and work this month and this year. The big step is in partnerships, which makes complete sense. Because how not to burn out? Delegate, partner up, let people do what they're great at, and you do what you're great at. And I promise you, speaking from one, you're not great at everything. You might be really good at a lot of things, but you're not great at everything. So the big steps into finding real balance and becoming the magician is in, good partnerships. Ask for help. And I know sometimes that comes out weird, or just, meditate on people stepping up to offer help. I did just that last year, and it totally happened, and I'm ever so grateful for it, and has changed so many things just on an energetic and emotional level for me. It's unbelievable. So big steps towards finding that balance between the doing and the rest and the play and the restoration is about reaching out for partnerships that really support you. That can be love partnerships, that can be business partnerships, that can just be friendships or other businesses that you can partner with to take the load off, so to speak. What to focus on. I love this. Unless it really was the High Priestess, there's nothing moonier than the Empress. So the Empress is like Mother Earth, like get rooted, get grounded. She's super psychic. She's highly intuitive. She is abundantly loving. She is bolstering and nurturing. She's a mama bear, but it's a good one. There's no shame here. There's nothing but love. She will tell it to you straight, but it's always got this such love to it. It's a big giant hug with, the advice. So this is what to focus on for this new moon, is that you got to focus on the love and the grounded realness of things. It can't get too airy-fairy, ethereal, like zippy wish-making. It just can't get too into the ethers. The whole thing about the magician and about manifestation is people think that you have to keep, cosmos, lift the vibration, more meditation, more zipping off. It's untrue. The whole deal with, the magician and real manifestation and bringing things into fruition is getting grounded. If you're untethered, you can't bring it into this plane. So that's why the earth signs are such doers and can succeed, because it's already templated into their astrological snapshot, that they can, bring things into fruition into the earth plane because they're so grounded by nature. We can all do that. We can all balance out our chart, right? And so this is also a call to movement, because that grounds our physical body. So workouts with me at mankitchen.com, they're gentle, they're thoughtful, they're balanced, they're intuitive, but they're intelligent, they're science-based, but they're entirely holistic. You've got to breach this plane, So again, we all kind of go for the cosmos and trying to get so out there, but you want to bring things into fruition. You want to achieve and to manifest and to magnetize them towards you. You have to get anchored and rooted and grounded. So notice my red sweater, color red and brown, earthy, let's just say it like blood, the creatrix, that feminine, there's a reason we bleed for substantial period of time of our lives, right? This is part of the cycle of bringing creative endeavors into physical manifestation in this plane. So focus on the Empress for this full moon and for these 2 weeks, getting grounded. If it's warm enough where you are, get your feet in the dirt. If it's not, go, put your hand on a tree for a little while. If you've got a little pot of dirt in your house, if you've got plants that you can repot, and meditation. I do this thing like a campaign of 8 hugs a day. It's being called to kind of push that too. That as a human being, we need 8-second hugs a day in order to be emotionally stable. That's baseline. that's not like love and abundance. And for those of us with small children, like, oh, that's such a great thing, right? That's totally the Empress. It's totally Mama Earth. Like, they need hugs and snuggles all the time. If you're not around a bunch of kids, if you're not in a relationship and that's a need and a necessity in your life, find a way that can happen. It can happen with a pet, you know, maybe it's time to adopt an animal. There's a call to this loving presence in order to get grounded. Because love is the only thing that really exists. It's the only thing that changes anything. It's the most powerful thing. So if you can anchor into the Empress, whether you're male or female, that's powerful and important because it is the ultimate healthy, divine nurturing caregiver. So put that in your pockets for these few weeks and for your full moon, okay? If you were interested in training with me, working out with me, and handling the Taurian aspects of grounding through food and movement, you sign up as a member over at mattinkitchen.com. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, you head to tandygutierrez.com and click on private sessions and book from there. If you would like to get my newsletter for Saturday of every month, over at tandygutierrez.com, a little thing will pop up when you first get there and you can sign up for my newsletter there. So I love you. It's an exciting year and I will see you next time.